408 million GDP and 80 million population within just the Italian peninsula, the industrial heartland of the world, with states like Sardinia, Piedmont having 136 million GDP and 25 million population alone, more than the entire economy of India, France, and Russia. And we did this all by going down the path nobody goes down as the Italians. A path that gives us close to 1 million weekly investment pool. We used the industrialists to establish puppets all around the world. And then we created companies that allowed us to completely suck dry all the resources and get filthy rich in the process. Ready to find out how to turn your nation into the greatest industrial powerhouse in Victoria 3? You came to the right place, because we're continuing our Italian campaign. This is the second of 3 parts where we go all the way to 1936, and in the first part we reviewed how to quickly form Italy in just 10 years, including the North Italian parts from the Austrians, and we also got Corsica from the French without even going to war with them. So make sure you watch the first part if you haven't watched it yet, and make sure to also subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Would really encourage me to make more videos like these in the future. As for our current situation, we are right now fielding a good 117 million GDP, making us the greatest great power by gross domestic product, and standard of living we are in the top 15 or so. We have to improve on that. Population we're 5th, and we're going to improve massively on that field in this particular playthrough. We managed to get Tunis as a subject, the Greeks are a subject as well, and we have some colonies around Africa. Well, we have colonies around most of Africa, as well as the Chileans and Argentinians are subjects, albeit a little bit rebellious, so we're gonna have to work on that. We're also in the process of getting more subjects with the war against Ecuador and Peru, Bolivia happening right now. If we manage to grab as many of the South American nations now, that would be ideal, because it will allow us to siphon a lot of the resources within the South American continent, especially rubber, wood, and other resources that we're going to need later in the campaign. Whilst in Europe itself, we're definitely not going to stop the expansion here. The Ottomans have just failed their Tanzimat, so they are an unrecognized major power, which means they're going to be free real estate. We also have some other nations that were released here, such as Cyprus, such as Iraq, such as Lebanon, all of which would love to be a part of our power block. The Roman Empire, clearly just a humble trade league, not secretly a means of restoring the Roman Empire itself. Clearly, guys, come on. Now, from a population perspective, we have actually gained a lot of pops in the last few years, especially from migration from other parts of the world, our colonies, and even from the rest of Europe, predominantly because we do have right now cultural exclusion. The goal would be to get multiculturalism, which would basically allow us to get people from everywhere to migrate into our provinces, and it would prevent the continuous rebellions that we keep getting within the African continent, because people in those parts of the world are not very happy with our rule right now. We also need to continue to expand our construction sectors significantly, and we just got the steel frame building production method, so we're going to start switching over to that production method slowly, everything. That being said, it has to be done step by step, because right now we don't have that many steel mills or glass works. We only have 23 glass works and roughly around 36 steel mills. So we can start with like 5 in this particular province. Whatever we have, like 1 or 2 or another 5 should be okay for now. Then we start switching the big boys, which is 25 in Lombardy, 25 Piedmont, and so on afterwards. I'm sorry, what? There's a play against me by the German Empire, who would like to get South Tyrol and a few other parts, including Alsace-Lorraine. So I guess this is against me and the French. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you here, Germany. I feel like maybe you need to bugger off. I'm gonna call in some French here, the Bavarians, independence for the Bavarians and the Americans. Yeah, maybe the British would like to join. I don't know, transfer states, the Niger Delta or Italian Congo. Yeah, it pretty much is literally nothing here. 8,000 GDP and 20,000 population, and we can just restart the colonization process if we give them that right now, and that would end up with us getting literally the greatest nation currently in our campaign on our site. So yeah, let's actually do that. Let's get all these nations to fight for us, shall we? And the Belgians, which have 87 battalions. How is Belgium so overpowered, brother? Explain that to me. How are they so freaking overpowered? Why are we able to liberate everything here? Holy schnitzel. Maybe the Rhineland. Let's liberate the Rhineland. Finland, shall we? There you go. The Germans are by themselves fighting against literally the entirety of the planet. They almost did win last time that happened, so maybe I shouldn't take this too lightly, should I? I'm gonna ask for some money transfer that we get 31,000 ducats a week from them if we win. Yeah, sure. Frack it, man. Let's go for this. I like this. I like this a lot, actually. Let's mobilize whatever is left of our army and send it over here in the front in the north. We're also winning in the invasion of Ecuador slowly but surely. The reality is that we can recruit units a lot faster. We have a lot more manpower, so we're basically just grinding down the Peruvian and the Ecuadorian armies. But the problem is I just really did not expect the Germans to do this, so it might screw me over a little bit. It's on, boys. Let's go and make Germany not so great anymore. Oh, the Japanese back down. No, they became a protectorate of the British without even fighting. That's so sad. And we also failed freedom of conscience on the drafting phase. That truly is unfortunate. Guess we do need more voting rights, so let's go for census suffrage. I don't want to go full universal suffrage just yet. We'll work our way towards that as we progress. We can now get our third company. Obviously, we're going to go for the unique Italian Montero Seta, which produces the Como silk, which comes from the province of Lombardia. It's basically right next to Milan, Como. You probably know about the Como Lake, maybe? That's pretty famous in my opinion. We are, of course, going to give them cotton plantation rights too. And look at that. We have a rebellion in the South American parts. Yeah, we'll join the rebellion side so we get an actual land border without having to do the naval invasion. So that basically means we've won South America as consequence. And looks like North Germany is getting its ass kicked as well. We officially have taken over Berlin from Brandenburg. It's kind of weird because this is just the flag of Mecklenburg, which also is kind of weird that they still exist, but I mean, sure, whatever. I'm assuming they did not have the easiest of times unifying Germany in this particular run. I'm also going to be taking over the debt of the Greeks. I know what you're thinking. Oh my god, the Greeks have debt? Unbelievable. Who would have thought of that? Everyone would have thought the Greeks have debt. It's as simple as that. That means we're back up to neutral from cold relations or whatever we had before. So we just got to keep on going this way. Eventually they're going to be very, very loyal subjects. Oh, we're making gains here. Hails to the baby. Look at that. Look at that. We basically gotten Ecuador, and the Germans are big time losing too. There we go. One more protectorate to rule them all. Let's go ahead and improve relations with them now. And we also won against the Germans. So we have liberated the Rhineland. Holy schnitzel. This is ugly. This is actually ugly. What is this, man? Why is Hamburg, Hanover, Rhineland, Hesse, and Schwarzburg, out of all nations, exist? Now we cut them to size, right? But shouldn't it be Saxony and the state of Saxony? I don't know. It's just a little bit weird. So what's left of Germany only has 20 million GDP. They lost half of their GDP. This is actually brutal. I think it's the end of Germany, guys. There's no way they're coming back from that. Also, what the hell? I'm sorry, what? Spain owns Zealand. I just noticed this. When on earth did Spain take the Danish capital? This is crazy, brother. Also, not sure how, but we actually lost the war against Peru, Bolivia. I'm assuming it's because I didn't get the war goal and this war exhaustion was keep on piling up. I think my units are not going to have enough time to reach for their capital, are they? I'm going to ask them to go for the capital, which should be La Paz, but I genuinely don't think we can make it in time. Yep, this is a very massive disappointment. So they didn't enforce anything, but at the same time, I lost Peru, Bolivia, which would have been the easiest subject ever. They still don't have any relations with anyone. So once the truce is over, I'm going to obviously attack them again and make them my puppet. And it does seem like Aymara managed to break free though. So perhaps we could actually just attack Aymara now, since, you know, nobody gives a schnitzel about them anyway. It's official, guys. We are producing the Como silk. Let's also actually check the company itself. Montero Seta is actually profitable. Okay, we're doing good. 16.1 productivity. We're getting the prestige, the synthetic plants throughput as well, alongside the prestige good, which means that we get a trade advantage for exporting this particular good of up to 100, and the buildings that use this particular good get a 20% throughput. So that means the textile mills get that particular throughput. So So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little bit of subventions for export so people get more inclined to import our particular good. And we're going to need to get more textile mills. In fact, I will be making Lombardy the main textile producing state in my country, as it should be. Technically, most people, when they think about fashion related stuff, they think about Milan, which is in Lombardy, right? So it makes a lot of sense if you think about it. French mass migration. Oh my god, we're doing so good that the French are migrating to our lands. Actually, we're up to 14.9 standard of living, which is pretty decent. Would you look at that? We have a brand new mandate, so that means we can go for the third principle for our power block. Construction would be a solid one because we would get access to the United Construction Conglomerate. However, they do not have a prestige good, so it's a little bit depressing in my opinion. Could be a lot better, this particular company, if you had any sort of prestige good. Seeing as I'm doing a little bit of expansion, I'm gonna go for colonial offices. So the reason I'm doing that is because colonial offices will give me minus 5% infamy against unrecognized nations per level of colonial affairs. That is level 3 almost right now. It's going to be level 4 soon. So we basically can get up to 25% less infamy from expanding in Africa and other parts of the world. The British want to give me another trade deal here. They want Niger in exchange for Cameroon. That's actually a decent one because then I have 2 united colonies here. I don't need to have like little separate entities. Same goes for the British. They get the whole area here for themselves. And of course, we can start continuing our colonization efforts in the rest of these parts. We're actually doing really good right now overall in Africa. We've got quite a few chunks of the African bits. French East Africa. Now that is surprising. That is actually I did not expect that. Liberté, égalité, fraternité. We have passed census suffrage, which means we can turn Silvio into a radical. Guys, I'm a little bit not sure what to do here. I really need to pass a lot of laws. We're falling behind with legislation massively. We had some pretty bad RNG when it comes down to laws. So we need to get total separation. We have a lot of support for that right now, but we also need to get graduated taxation. We have so support for this. I don't feel like I'm going to pass this. Even proportional would be significantly better than per capita taxation. Anything would be better than that right now. But just, I don't want to risk trying to pass one of these, fail multiple times, whilst I have so many other legislation that I need to pass, like restricted child labor so we can get an extra level of education. I think that's what I'm going to go for next. We're also going to be colonizing the Oceanian islands so we can trade these with the British later down the line. I'm sure they have a vital interest in this area, and they might even give us some better colonies around Africa, if anything. We're also doing a cheeky little war against what's left of the homies here, namely Borgu, and apparently the Spaniards decided they want to be on their side, so we gotta have to fight the Spaniards now, which are invading Italy. The absolute betrayal. We thought of you as absolute awesome Spanish Latin broskies, and you do this, Spain. I will never forgive you for this. In fact, I'm gonna make sure your downfall is around the corner, buddy boy. There you go. We got what we wanted. Now the Spaniards can just bugger off. Let's also try at least to see if we can get graduated taxation. This would be such a massive advantage right now. We can also invite some more agitators to help us pass this legislation. We have successfully avoided the industrialist coup. I like them. It's just not yet their time. Their time is going to come a little bit later. We've also had these freaking rebels for literally 10 plus years. Go away, motherfuckers. Freaking go away. Speaking of going away, graduated taxation was just the dream. We're going to attempt now proportional taxation. Maybe a little bit more luck with this, hopefully. It's also time that we get more subjects within Africa, so Sokoto is an obvious natural target for us. I'm actually a little bit worried because the British are doing a lot better than I expected them to. They've overtaken us in GDP by 10 million. They were like 50 million behind us, and what they did to overtake us is they just started conquering everything left and right. It's crazy. They've directly conquered all of Dai Viet. They've directly conquered a lot of the world. Like, I'm genuinely saying a buttload of the world. So it's a little bit embarrassing. I'm falling behind the British Empire. I need to step up my game right here, guys. And obviously more important is I need to get my own subjects around the world and also annex parts of the world that are unrecognized nations, basically. The bright side, we do have some Germans that are migrating to our land, so we're definitely doing something good. We also need to change some of our production methods around here. We're going to start using a lot more dynamite now, and we're going to use a lot of the population saving production production methods, because we are having shortages of pops within the Italian peninsula at least. Not so worried about the farms that we predominantly have outside of Italy. I'm just worried a lot about the industrial buildings within Italy, right? That does mean we're going to have massive shortages, especially of explosives and a few other things that we need to catch up with ASAP. For now, I'm going to give subventions for importing explosives, but I will also be doubling down on explosives and building a lot more explosives factories. Oh, that's adorable. Congo wants me to give him 63,000 ducats a week if we lose. Yeah, sure, Congo. If we lose, we'll give you 5 times that. Just don't worry about it. You're totally gonna win this war, guys. Come on. And basically, what we're trying to do right now is secure as much of the world as possible, because in the later part of the campaign, what happens is everything is gonna be owned by great powers. So unless it's owned by us, it's gonna be owned by the most likely British or the French or somebody of the sorts. So we just really need to secure as much of the world, because then later in the campaign, we're gonna have to have literal world wars to get even a small little fraction of land. Seeing as we also have insane shortages of meat and fiber, we're using our puppets in South America to supply us all that meat and fiber. After all, what is Patagonia known if not for its meat, right? I mean, that's kind of what everybody knows when they think about Patagonia, if you ask me. Maybe dulce de leche, but that's basically for all of Argentina though. Holy schnitzel, I changed a couple of production methods to include transportation, and now we have huge issues with transportation. We're gonna need a lot more trains, aren't we? Also in the process of getting electricity right after I finish pump jacks. We need to electrify our production methods if we are to keep up with the British and everybody else. I think that's something that's helping them out a lot. I just checked and they already have electricity, which is why their GDP probably skyrocketed, aside from them being, you know, insane warmongers too. We are about to overtake them though. There you go, we did overtake them already, so at least we're back up on track. Yay, Italian Congo, best Congo in the world. And it's best because it means we can colonize the adjacent province now. We actually just passed the draft with 5%. That is still not going to pass. I'm not even going to bother to think that that's going to pass, because I know that's not going to pass. That's just, I don't even know why the hell I'm even trying to pass this anymore. I should just cancel it. There you go. I freaking knew it. We failed the legislation. Holy mother, that's a lot of national movements that would love for us to pass multiculturalism. Okay, that also is going to get us rid of the revolution, which is double good. There you go. Finally not in a revolution after so long. Oh, guys, all of our issues are over. We have a monument to the emperor. That is literally everything we ever needed. Okay, so everything is fine now. That being said, our power block is now second in the world right after the British Empire. So that means we can get our 4th principle. I would actually like to go for food standardization because of the mortality reduction, but at the same time, I really need population. So I'm going to go for freedom of movement. Once we get this up to level 3, we're going to be able to get insanely high amounts of migrants. And I'm also going to change a lot of my decrees here to greener grass campaigns, so we can have, at least in the main states, more populations come in. We've got an average of about 110, give or take, in most of our states, so it's not too good, it's not too bad, but we could do a lot better. Like standard of living has been going down because of some of the things we've been doing, so we need to fix that too. And there you have it. We failed multiculturalism. This is beyond disappointing, but unfortunately a little bit expected. We have a bit more support for graduated taxation now, so let's attempt this again. And the French are attacking us. Regime change in Madagascar. Oh, brother. Seriously? Well, we can call in the British on our side, so it's basically GG's for the French already. And I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna station some units close to Madagascar so we can defend Madagascar in case. So actually, I'm gonna station them in Madagascar so we can prevent any sort of French invasion in here. Make sure these guys are set to defend front. As for our goals on the French, well, I don't even know what I want from them. Maybe transfer some subjects or something. French Senegal seems like a pretty good deal. That's a decently large nation right there. It's got big chunks everywhere, basically. Wait, what? Portugal is their subject? Since when? Excuse me? Actually, French East Africa might be better, though. How much GDP does French East Africa have? They've got 6 million GDP, and the Senegal have about the same, actually. Difference is they got more population, about double. And if we get French Senegal, then the French will not be able to colonize from the East African parts anymore. You know what? I think I'm going to do it. French East Africa, and I'm also going to take Senegal. I'm going to take both. It's only 53 aggressive expansion. It's really not that much massive. I'm going to make another army here from the South African contingent just so I can quickly grab some of these war goals around the African parts. Set them up over in this particular front. Boom shakalaka. Go, boys. Time for the big one. All right, we grabbed the wrong province. We need to take Lorento Marques, not Zambia. Come on, army. Okay, we are pushing, though, into France itself, which is huge. huge. And this is also mostly because of the British army, not because of me, that's for sure. In fact, I need to step up my military game. We don't even have breech-loaded artillery yet. Also, what the hell? India is an independent nation. Since when, brother? When did this happen? Oh my god, this is crazy. Oh, that means India is one of the great powers, isn't it? Yep, the 6th great power. That does not surprise me whatsoever. They got 105 million GDP all by themselves, and I am assuming they became independent 1885 because that's when their GDP screen starts. 182 million population. That is insane, man. This nation is going to be a big challenge for everybody now. We're basically winning on every single front right now. Seeing as my units don't need to actually defend in Madagascar, I'm going to send them off to actually push into these fronts so we can win the war a little bit faster. What? We passed graduated taxation? Bro, whenever you don't pay attention to a legislation, that's when you pass it. I swear to freaking Schnitzeldorf. I didn't even pay attention to it. I thought it was just gonna fail again, and we passed it. That is just crazy. We haven't gotten all the war goals though, so we're not making too much progress in the war. We're stuck on 0. Both sides are stuck on 0, so this is a bit of a grind fest. We're just losing units for no reason right now. I guess I got a little bit greedy. I shouldn't have said French Senegal and Algeria. That was maybe a little bit too much. Also, as of this particular patch, automobiles are a separate factory, and that is huge because automobiles are likely one of the strong, well, they're not likely, in my opinion, they are the strongest type of building to be producing in the late game, since not only do they produce automobiles, but they also produce airplanes and tanks, and they are by far the most profitable in the world once you get them settled. So that means you need to have a lot of rubber. And what do we have? Most of the world's rubber production via our subjects. That's right, we planned for this, boys. This is our moment right now. I love how despite being at war, we've been consistently growing our GDP. And remember that we literally loaded up to save like 14 years ago or some schnitzel. So in just 14 years, we more than doubled our GDP. We've gotten quite a few colonial possessions as well, and we've secured our rank as the world's top GP already. Well, I mean, sure, I know what he's saying. You don't have more prestige than the British yet, but that's gonna change. Don't worry about it. We're gonna get a buttload of ships too to spam prestige farming too as well. We're gonna do that after we research self-propelled torpedoes though, because we want to actually use torpedo boats. We don't want to have a frigate fleet now, do we? I love how the French are also focusing 100% on the mainland of France, so now we're able to do cheeky little naval invasions all around the colonies that they got. And because I have Sokoto as a subject, I can also do invasions into Niger, into Timbuktu, these areas where in previous patches we couldn't do this stuff, right? But now we're opening up fronts, dividing the French army more and more, and these are areas that we need to enforce our war goals. So we're basically winning by making sure that the French don't have enough soldiers to cover all of their fronts now. There we go. We got all the war goals, baby. We got all the war goals. We're winning against the freaking French, dude. Oh, this is gonna... And we're getting migrants from Brazil. We're doing the reverse of what historically happened, where the Italians were moving to Brazil to Argentina. In our case, the Brazilians are coming to a... Wait a second. Do I want that to happen? I'm not sure this is a good thing, guys. Should I be worried? Oh, screw you, England. Decrease their infamy by 10. I mean, we're allied and everything, but they have 5 and they've been murdering nations left and right, and they have 5 infamy. What the Schnitzeldorf, man. I was expecting the British to have like 50 or 60 infamy. This is just ridiculous right now. And speaking of ridiculous, so we got Italian Senegal, and we have Italian East Africa. We got all the colonies in Italy. Why did we not get this? I'm pretty sure I added Lorenzo Marquez as a war goal. Did I not add Lorenzo Marquez as a war goal? I gotta roll back the video, but I'm pretty sure I did. I'm a little bit of the confusion here. Did I not? I'm sure I added the independence of the Portuguese. I'm not sure what happened, but it does seem like we're gonna have to fight the French again. We also didn't get Algeria, actually, now that I think about it. Oh, I think I know what happened. We couldn't enforce all the war goals, could we? We just got like a few of them. Well, that's fine. It's better than nothing end of the day. Well, seems like we got some massive shortages now of transportation, apparently a ton of them. And we also can go for level 2 freedom of movement, which is huge. We need all that population. Our puppets are significantly more loyal than I expected them to be as well. So let's go ahead ahead and bring Sokoto down to puppet level so we have more beautiful green around Africa. And let's go ahead and build more transportation in actually no, instead of building more transportation, what I could do is change to public motor carriages. That's going to increase the demand for automobiles, which is good, and it means we also have massive shortages of electricity. I just realized we only have one factory. Yeah, this is a really big problem. I'm gonna get 19 factories. This is our main state. We need a lot of electricity. For that matter, I probably need to have at the very least 5 electrical power plants in all of my Italian states alone before even thinking about the rest of the colonial areas, which, speaking of, I'm gonna have to start making into proper colonies. So that means we're gonna lose a lot of our GDP because we're gonna start establishing colonies in the various areas within Africa. I'd rather those areas be controlled by Africans. It makes my life a lot easier too. I'm gonna start by establishing my first colony in South Africa, and we're gonna turn this into a chartered company. There's actually a few options when you make a colony in Africa. You can make it a charter company, which is basically the middle ground pretty much. You can make it a Catholic mission or whatever religious state where you convert everybody to your religion. You can just exploit the schnitzel out of it, or you can make it a new Italy. Basically try and get as many pops in there and make it new Italia. We're not going to do that. We're going to go for chartered company because we like the middle ground. So Italian South Africa is defiant, apparently. You little shits. You actual little shits. I lost 11 million GDP for you and you're disloyal? How dare you? You know what we could do? Actually, we could take on a few treaties here with them so we can do military access. That's going to improve our relations with them a little bit more, and we can do a few other accesses too. We also can expand our colony in Zanj, so that means the Italian East Africa already established state will get control of this state, Zambia, I believe, Zambezia, sorry. Once these other provinces are fully colonized, we can give them over to East Africa too. And same for Senegal. We could give Italian Senegal some other parts that have been fully colonized, like the Ivory Coast. Now, that being said, we do have to improve relations with them also and make sure we take on their debt. How many? 44,000, and we get 30 relations for them for just 44,000. That is an actual no-brainer. That means we now have neutral relations, so their liberty desire is going to continue to go down and down. The only thing that sucks now is that the 16 million GDP we gave to South Africa is big, but the bigger problem is that we lost the gold mines. We got 12 here, another 12 here, and 4 gold fields. So we lost, like, I don't know, probably a good 50 to 60,000 alone in balance from these, which is a lot that we lost, let's face it. The good part is that they do inherit most of our stuff, so they're going to be able to manage these areas effectively, and seeing as their primary culture is North Italian, South Italian, they're also going to convert a lot of pops to their particular culture every month. And also, we don't have public schools yet. I just realized we're still on religious schools because we have not been able to move away from state religion since the start of the campaign. I think I might be able to do it now, but that's just way later than I expected to be able to get public schools. Like, imagine, we're getting literally public schools, my dude, in 1890s. That's 60, 70 years later than you should be getting public schools as this nation, in my opinion. So we just got really bad luck there. We are also first when it comes to standard of living because I do not take the Ionian Islands serious. I mean, this is just, come on, really? And after we finish building these power plants and we start moving away from traditional production methods to more electrified production methods, we literally will grow by 100 million, give or take, in GDP. There you go. We got freedom of conscience. That is amazing. We also can get more automobiles. So let's spam another 10 in Piedmont, and let's also use better production methods. I kind of forgot that we also can do electric sewing machines and brine electrolysis, so we can make significantly more explosives. We just need what do we need, guys? That's right, we need more electricity, a lot more. I'm gonna go ahead and change all of my farms also to automatic production. That means we're gonna need a lot more engines, and also gonna go for public motor carriage. So now check it out, we instantly got a 500 automobiles demand and 2,000 engines. So obviously we're gonna be spamming both of these buildings around. Oh wait, we can establish a colony in Congo. Let's go, baby. A second chartered company, of course. Start improving relations with these bad boys as well. The Greeks have decided they're going to be taking the Ottomans on all by themselves. However, they're my subject, so I did join on their side with the condition of liberating Bulgaria. We're also going to be returning all of the provinces to Greece because they are my subject after all, so we want them to be a little bit stronger than they are right now. We've also massively set apart our GDP from the British, 40 million above the British GDP right now and growing. I've also made sure to recruit an extra 50 shrapnel artillery, so we have two armies of 50-50 basically, and we're gonna get another two armies of 50-50 after this war because we want to have around 400 battalions at this point in the campaign. Otherwise, other major powers are going to start attacking us because they will consider us very weak. Standard of living wise, we have also massively detached ourselves from the rest of the world. The British are second together with the Dutch, and they are very much so below us when it comes to standard of living. Electrifying, well, we haven't fully electrified, but starting to electrify the grid in our country has made a massive difference. And to put things into perspective, our capital, former capital of Piedmont, has 18 million GDP alone. That is more GDP in that one state than in the entirety of Russia and everybody else below that. That is just insane to see. Oh, dude, seriously, they actually backed down. That is so unfortunate. That would have been a super freaking easy war too. We could have gotten back these provinces from the Ottomans. Well, I mean, when the truce is over, of course, we're gonna attack them again. But hey, at least we have Bulgaria free now. So that's a nation I'd love to get my hands on as well when the truce is over. And Romania formed too, which is pretty cool to see. Now, we are making massive amounts of money, and by privatizing, we're filling up our reserves. So I am gonna get more construction sectors. Problem is, as you would expect, population. Right now, population is absolutely kicking my butt. That's why I'm focusing on fixing my economic situation and increasing my standard of living, because I'm hopeful that I'm gonna get more population migrating from the rest of Europe into Italy, since we do have, after all, cultural exclusion still. Also gonna go for compulsory primary education so we can max out our institution for education, and we also can start upgrading our home affairs. I actually forgot to do this and it's still on level 1. That's just cringe. All right, let's also think about this. We're gonna cancel some of these taxes and replace these with decrees in my country, I guess. Oh, 6,000 investments for steam turbine or electric railway. I'm gonna go for the steam turbine because I like to do that research next. And let's see who we can decrease the autonomy of more. Apparently, is it Iraqis we can. Some of our colonies are a little bit disloyal though. That's not good. So we're gonna have to improve with them. The easiest way to improve with these nations is, well, to make their liberty desire go down, is to just build stuff in their country. So in this case, we can build a lot of logging camps in Italian East Africa. They should have the population. They do have the population. What we are lacking is infrastructure in these lands. So maybe we can also build a couple of railways here too. All right, we've queued up a lot of buildings in Italian East Africa, so that's going to help lower their liberty desire quickly. Right now, because we've lowered the level of Iraq to puppet, our nations are a tiny bit disloyal, with an emphasis on the Greeks being disloyal. I don't like that. They're getting their independence supported. I'm assuming that's the Russians, isn't it? Of course it's the Russians. We're going to have a war with the Russians because they've been very naughty towards us. Time for us to get our next company. I'm going to go for the Home Goods Syndicate, simply because I like a prestige good that is furniture. So getting stylish furniture is going to help us export our prestige good to the world, get that juicy trade advantage after. Our first company is getting 287,000 profit, which is ridiculous. And we got some Central Americans migrating. I'll take it. We also have torpedo boats now, so we're going to be replacing our current fleet with a full-on torpedo boat fleet. Cannot upgrade our frigates to torpedo boats, sadly, so we're going to have to delete them after we finish building the torpedo boats. Holy mother of God, Greece is just ridiculously aggressive. Now they're attacking the Bulgarians. What the shit, man? And I cannot even join in this war because I have a truce with Bulgaria. They don't. Greece, you better freaking win this, man. Don't embarrass me like this. This is pretty much a 1v1 between them. And Bulgaria back down. Oh my God. Greeks are over freaking powered, brother. You guys ever wondered how powerful the new mechanics are? Check this out. We're getting 102% throughput on the iron mines in Piedmont. So that means we're basically producing 7,200 100 iron in just this one province alone. That is ridiculous, man. Imagine if we had like 80 iron mines like some of the states in Germany have. That is just crazy amount. All right, the Greeks are just officially warmongers. They're attacking the Egyptians now for the conquest of Crete. That is just the most what the schnitzel is happening here moment ever. The Russians are on their side, as well as the Russians are on the side of the Cypriots against the Ottomans that are trying to conquer them. So the Russians are the protector of the Orthodox, that's for sure. That being said, I'm also the protector of Greece because I'm their leader. I'm the, overlord, technically. So we're gonna help them out. We're gonna liberate Croatia, which we have an interest in, just casually making Croatia our little schnippy dubs. Who would have thought Austria, Italy not being bestest of friends? Am I right? All right, we're winning in Messina. Now let's try and give some objectives here. Croatia is gonna be the main objective because we do have to liberate that. Should be fairly easy to get the Austrians out of this war, though. The Russians are doing all the heavy lifting here. The Russians have already invaded Egypt for that. No, Russians are gonna take Sinai, aren't they? Oh my god, so then they're gonna build a Suez Canal? Oh, that is horrible. The Russians beat me to the Suez Canal. I hate them. Greeks migrating. I wonder why. Could it be that, things are not going very well in the Ottoman Empire? It possibly could be. Oh god, they're using their obligation to call me against the Qing. What do you guys want from Qing? Just don't say protectorate. No, they're conquering parts of Qing. Yunnan and Yongnan. I don't even know where Yongnan is. Why is this particular patch the patch where every single nation and their mamas are ridiculously aggressive? Like, really, why? We got ourselves a little nice Austrian sandwich here. There we go. Liberation of Croatia, which is going to be an ally of ours. Wait, where do they have the same color as us? I never knew this. Croatia has the same color as Italy. It's meant to be, guys. The cool part is that now we have a border, so it should be fairly easy for us to invade Croatia, Bosnia, Serbia, and just Romania probably after, so we can make all of the Balkans a part of our power block. Oh my god, the Greeks also got Lower Egypt in that deal? Brother, what is happening? Are the Greeks restoring the Byzantine Empire without me realizing it? Wait, the British are ridiculous. What are they attacking the French for now? Let's see. They are... Is that the Senegal War? It's the... Oh, it's the Qing War that I just capitulated because there was no war goal against me. Right, they're still in that war. That's actually good for me. I don't mind the great powers fighting whilst I'm developing my country and just sneakily grabbing all that's left over in Africa that the British and the French didn't have time to get, right? We're literally paying 3 infamy to grab the entirety of Sego, which is a good, how much? 600,000 pops and 1 million GDP. That is basically free GDP right there. Seeing as we also changed to an industrialist government, we now can also go for free trade, which should significantly improve our ability to flood the market with our goods. We're going to be able to give subventions of up to 50%, and we get a flat 25% trade advantage on all trades, which is actually insane. I'm also massively taking advantage of the French and the British being at war, and I'm quite literally getting an uncontested expansion in West Africa. We're going to get Benin, which is again 4 million GDP, and then we're going to grab the rest of this that's not yet colonized, and what died Darfur, all this stuff here too, allowing us to afterwards go into South Egypt and even Ethiopia. Probably should do that from the coastline though, because I think Majardin is still independent. Yes, they freaking still are. Speaking of independence, let me see if I can lower the puppet level of Oman. Not yet. I guess after we finish this war, we're going to be able to. Hey, we're developing stylish furniture now. Hells to the yeah. India has started to improve relations, and they have conciliatory attitude towards me. You know what? I don't mind an ally in India. We could really use them against the British Empire in the final part of the campaign when we're going to have some serious wars against the British, which, by the way, look at this. They directly conquered most of Southeast Asia. They didn't even bother to puppet this shit. They just full on attacked. Look at what's left of Siam. They literally have 2 freaking provinces. Maybe I should attack Siam and use them as a return claim after against the British. That's not a bad idea now that I think about it. All right, Benin is gone. You also have some options here. We could expand some of these colonies, which basically means give some of these provinces to our colonies. I find it so ridiculous how the Confederate States only have 23 million GDP and they're literally struggling to exist, whilst the US has 160 million GDP. It really just goes to show that the southern parts of the east coast of America really doesn't produce much. It's mostly just agriculture, isn't it? Whilst the industrial heartlands is really just the northern bits and I guess the west coast, in my opinion too. The dream is here, the dream of having laissez-faire, which is going to give 2 free company charters, which is huge, loan interest rates so we can start properly scaling up, and private construction sector. extra allocation so we can let the private sector do most of the building for us. We don't need to stress about it too much. It does forbid monopolization though, so that's something we'll see how that works. Basically, we're gonna do the trade advantage for exports now also, because we want to focus on exporting to the rest of the world everything that we possibly can. Let's also go ahead and fix some of these infrastructure issues that we've got. I have to say that this part of the campaign is when it actually starts getting fun. Like literally managing the electrical grid, going for the most optimal option of production. And I just realized, because I've been giving away my colonies, well, my colonial lands to the colonies, I'm technically kind of playing tall, right? I mean, we literally just have the Italian parts directly controlled more or less, whilst the rest of the world is puppeted in one way or another. So we're technically playing tall, right? Come on. Now we do need more ships too, so let's go ahead and queue up a few more here. We don't have any population, but I'm just kind of hoping that as we progress, we get more and more people migrating to our lands. I mean, it's happening. We got 70 million predominantly in our Italian lands. If you go to our society cultures, look at that. We got basically 60 million North and South Italians, 1.5 million Spaniards, some Greeks, 1.3 million, and a few other Europeans here and there too. I would love to see multiculturalism pass though. That would make such a massive difference. I failed it like 3 times already. I don't even know what to say anymore. There's basically no support for this right now, especially since we now have a industrialist petite bourgeoisie government, which makes a big difference. I guess the only saving grace for that would be for us to switch to commercialized agriculture, which would really empower the trade unions, and that would push us towards maybe getting multiculturalism afterwards. As for our revenue, yeah, we absolutely could sustain a bit more construction sectors right now. We managed to sneakily get Gelebi, so we prevented the British from unifying themselves with the British East India province here. But more importantly, we are now able to attack Shiwa or Ethiopia, whatever you want to call it, and nobody gives a schnitzel about them. It's only 9.3 infamy because of all the various modifiers, including the colonial affairs principle that I was talking about earlier. That's 10 million GDP, by the way, and 10 million pops for 9 infamy. And of course, the Russians join on the side of Shiwa. Why wouldn't they? Well, you know what? I'm gonna do something too then. I'm gonna give the most valuable province of Namaqualand to the British, and they're gonna join on my side. See what I was saying earlier? We've got so many little shitty ass provinces that mean literally nothing that we can use to bring the British on our side. It's just crazy. 2,000 GDP and 3,000 population, and that's what it took to make the British ruffle stomp the Russians, basically. Come on, Shua, just back out of this. There you go. I freaking knew it. They were so fearful. They had like all the chances of backing out. Booyah shaka, boys. All right, now let's improve, and we're close to getting laissez-faire, which is wild. Oh my god, I'm so happy I got Shua for free. That's a big W. Let's go ahead and finish what's going on here. Futa Jalon Nest for just 4.8 infamy. Laissez-faire. Hells to the yes, baby. Problem is, I know that now a lot of stuff is gonna start privatizing, so I'm gonna fill up my reserves, aren't I? Am I still 4th with population? I am. Russians have 119 million, dude. That is crazy, man. Yeah, it's probably because of all the Uzbeki lands and everything else that they took, isn't it? We do have another shot at multiculturalism. Oh man, should I even try? Is this even? And I'm gonna fail it. I know I'm gonna fail it. I'm gonna go for elected bureaucrats first because I really need to pass this, and then we'll go universal suffrage and work our way towards multiculturalism slowly with the change of government from industrialist to something else after. Well, boys, to put things into perspective, we now have 405 million GDP, meaning we're 125 million GDP above the British, more standard of living still, and we have more population than them too at 79.4, despite all of their aggressive warmongering. Okay, just putting that out there. To put things into perspective, we're giving to the investment pool 940,000 weekly, dude. That is just ridiculous. That's why, despite having minus 627,000 balance, we're still making money because of the investment pool giving us 940,000 and us using it after. It is just wild to see this shit. We also got a couple of extra charters, so we're gonna make the less successful companies gain some more rights. Cannot give monopolies anymore because laissez-faire doesn't allow monopolies, but I could give the ability for these companies to maybe colonize areas. Like I could give them Zambezi as a colonial area and such. Now the next target is going to be basically all of the Balkans and finishing what's left of the Ottomans, but it's already in the 1900s, so I'm going to do that in the final part of the campaign. I really hope you guys are going to check that out. So make sure to leave a like. And until the next time, take care of yourselves. And remember that there's always someone that loves you. It's this guy. No, seriously, you got no choice. You're getting all that love.